Our project was on public school versus private school and how they're differently socially. The first difference that affects the social life of the students is the actual school size. Public schools, when compared to private schools, are much physically larger, and this can affect the experience for the students, and that changes depending on the student. And in a large public school, there are more students in each class, and some students enjoy this, but others find it harder to focus and do well academically. A larger student population also means more elective classes, depending on the ratio of students to teachers. And socially, some students thrive in a large group of people where they're exploring new things and meeting new people and interacting all the time. But others feel overwhelmed in these giant settings and don't know how to get the help they need or make friends. And this is different for every student. The next thing is their academics for for the different schools and how that changes their social life. And studies show that consistently shown that students in private schools tend to perform better on tests than public school students. For example, one thing that research in private school students tend to perform better on a standardized test. USnews.com says that 8th grade private school students average about 20 points higher than public school students or charter students on the National Assessment of Education Progress reading test in 2022. They also said 4th grade private school students had nearly the same advantage in average scores on college entry tests such as the SAT. The National Association of Independent Work Schools found that students in private schools consistently outperform their public school peers in all subject areas. And this just shows that how much education they're getting, or like not how smart, but the test does definitely change their social life.
Next, there are extracurricular activities. So most public schools will have a much bigger selection of the extracurricular activities that will be given because there's just more people, they have a lot more interests. So say you have like 20 people in a public school that want to start a chess club or something, but a private school may only have like 5 to 10 people that would want to start something like that. So there's a lot more opportunity for kids in public schools to find their niches and explore their interests a lot more. Private schools may not have as much of those clubs and things, so if their school doesn't support those activities, then kids might not be able to join those groups or meet people that share common interests. So their options may be pretty limited. Next up, there's student support. So private schools tend to have a lot more supportive people and programs to help the students and their families and the teachers because there's a lot less people, so they can focus a lot more on individuality, and they would be able to help people a lot more. Whereas a public school might have a lot more people, so they can't really spend as much time with individuals. Public school teachers and guidance counselors would still provide academic and psychological support to students who are struggling with some parts of their education. It's just that the support might not be as helpful as kids who would be in a private school situation. Even though there is little support for students in public schools and high school, some students benefit a lot from learning to advocate for themselves and figuring out how to find and use available resources. So it really just depends on the type of person. Others are not ready for that level of independence and will do better in a more supportive academic environment. So it all just depends on whether or not you need more support or less support. That might affect what type of school you would want to go to. That's the end of our presentation. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys. Awesome sauce.